Welcome to the Lone Machinist podcast, the podcast where it's just you, your tools, and the work. No team, no backup. I'm Jamie from JSpec Engineering, and every episode we're tackling the highs and lows of flying solo in the machining world.
And I'm Curt from Confounded Machine, here to chat about everything it takes to make it as a one-man show in the shop. From grinding and turning to the struggles of running a one-person operation, we're sharing the stories, the tricks, and the challenges that come with going it alone.
If you're out there in the shop grinding away by yourself, or just thinking about taking a solo plunge, this show's for you.
So throw in your ear protection and let's talk about life behind the machine.
Welcome to episode 21 and a half, because we had to re-record because my internet, it died. Curt and I tried to record, and it did not go well. That will be bonus content on the Patreon, but we're going to basically rehash all the topics because now we can actually have a conversation. So
that was a struggle bus. That was a struggle bus for sure.
That was a bit of a rough one. Yeah, judging by your face, my camera's a lot clearer.
Yeah, it is incredibly clear. Your audio is better, latency is better. Everything is just 100% better.
Awesome. Yeah, we finally got fiber pulled in here yesterday. So we tried to record on Sunday. I got annoyed with the internet on Monday. No, we recorded Monday morning for me. I got annoyed with the internet while we were on the call. Ordered a fiber connection. It was installed within 12 hours, and we now have a fiber connection here.
That's
it was
bonkers.
Insanely quick. Yeah,
I can't believe how fast that happened.
I don't think there's a lot of people having installs done at the moment. Like when they first put the infrastructure in there, it was just you would wait weeks for a connection, and now, apparently it's really quick.
Oh, nice.
So we now have reasonable internet.
Nice. Well,
because, it turns out Fusion doesn't work without the internet.
Yeah, I can imagine that being super annoying, having a hotspot every time.
Yeah, I was literally running a hotspot, then connecting to my workshop network to post files to my NAS, and then connecting back to the hotspot to carry on working. Yeah, it was a little annoying. Have you updated to the latest Fusion?
I
today's
don't.
Update.
I'm just checking right now. I have it open. No, I have not.
Okay, so more importantly, what OS are you running?
Windows 10.
Okay, when you get the pop-up, please just screen grab it for me.
Okay.
Although it'll probably pop up on this computer when I update it later. Because guess what? Fusion's no longer going to support Windows 10 from January.
What? Really?
Yes. Quite honestly, if I could run Fusion natively on Linux, I would be running Linux right now. That is how much I dislike the adware that is Microsoft these days.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. If I didn't have to run Fusion, I wouldn't be on Windows. I'd be Linux everything.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I play with Windows.
I've tried in the past, and just not a fun experience. And I don't want to be like, we can make it work, but then you're not keeping up to date with updates and things, and it becomes a problem.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So a bit annoying. So I got a little pop-up when I updated my PC today, or updated Fusion on the PC in the workshop, because that's running Windows 10, saying that it will be discontinuing, it's being end-of-life, Windows 10. So for security reasons, Fusion will not be supported on it from January. But,
it does. Yeah. It does make sense. Like Windows 10 is ancient, but 90% of the world is still on Windows 10. So it's just
Do you remember when Windows 10 was launched? The last Windows ever was part of their marketing bullshit. The fact that it pops up by Xbox Game Pass, I'm like, you're an operating system, not an advertising system. It's a little bit annoying. But
then the weird thing is, the weird thing is the hardware requirements. This computer that I'm playing on right now is it's pretty fast still to date, and it's nope, Windows 11 not supported. I'm like, why? Why? This can run any game that's currently out there. Why can't I run your? I get it, but still, it's just
it's a bit annoying,
frustrating.
No, we were discussing it today while we went to go see a customer, and Danik and I were chatting. I'm like, when you turn your computer on, what is your intended use case? You've just turned it on. What are you going to do when the screen pops up? You're going to log the fuck in. No, you must press enter first and then wait for it to pop the thing up before you start typing your password. I'm like, I want to use the computer. I just turned it on. My Windows 11 machine drives me insane because you press enter, start typing in the password, and then it catches the last two letters of the password.
Right. Yeah.
Just the user interface has gone down the drain. But thought that was an interesting one that I saw this morning.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to be building my monster friggin' CAD rigs sooner than later.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, I don't know. Well, my laptop's running Windows 11. All my other PCs are somewhat better than my laptop, so it should be fine. Like apparently, my house is very computer dense, considering two. There's two PCs and a laptop in the workshop. So there's my Trello PC, which is an atom that should just get kicked out of a freaking window. It's running Ubuntu, and that's okay. I've got my CAD PC or my programming and like admin PC in my office. Then I've got my laptop. Then upstairs I've got my old gaming PC, which Danica uses for podcast editing, and we do the podcast on. And then she's got her laptop behind me for the vinyl cutter. And then we've got a computer in our lounge for TV. Like, yeah, we've got a few computers.
So when they all become sentient, you're hosed.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. But yeah, like my mom and my mother-in-law keep trying to get us to get little Android TV boxes, and Danica and I are both like, why? We both would be classed as power users on PC, so we would rather have a PC there that if we want to, what's the word? If we want to become privateers to watch something, it's not an issue. Yeah, trying to figure out how to word that one nicely. But yeah, because obviously in Africa we can't get everything we want,
Of course,
show-wise. Like, so if I can watch it legally, it's the same thing with Steam. If you can do it legally, you're going to do it legally. That's where Steam changed games. Is if it's easy to get, people are going to get it. Like, they're not going to go to the extra effort. But there's certain things we can't get here, so we get elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of even what Fusion did to the CAD world. Is just like they made it more accessible just to buy a proper, like before that, it's like, yeah, of course I'll pirate Mastercam because A, I can't afford it. I'm just a hobbyist. And B, what are my other options? And then I had a Libra, which was the next option. But now it's like Fusion just kind of took over with that.
So I had my chat with John that I do every Tuesday morning. So we had a chat this morning. He was saying I was chatting to someone, and their annual bill for Mastercam is like just shy of $30,000 a year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, no, not happening.
Yeah,
just straight up not happening. So yeah, no, it's interesting to see how much people pay, and that's a one-man shop. It's not like an enterprise situation. And I'm like, that is insane. I'm sorry, that is just nuts. Like, I'm now apparently providing Fusion 360 for milling courses.
Oh yeah.
So I've got my cousin's boyfriend. He was meant to be out tonight. I'm like, hey dude, let's give tonight a skip. I'm not feeling so lacquer, and I need to do some stuff and then podcast. So he's coming through tomorrow, but basically getting him up to speed on how to program in Fusion, not Mastercam X5.
Right.
And actually be proficient. Like, so he was here on Monday nights, and I ran him through whatever was in memory in Fusion on the offline mode. I ran him through the tool library and explaining to him that when you pull a tool into the job file, it creates a duplicate of the tool, and ran him through tool library and settings and showing him you could put holders. He's like, why would you want the holder? So I said, no, you use it for simulation to check you're not going to crash. Like, yeah. So I explained, like, what you don't know, you don't know. So my thought on Monday, put it in his head, let him think about it. When he comes back, he's going to have smart questions to ask.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, he's going to start programming stuff on the Slowio from tomorrow. So probably some of the Titan stuff just scaled down and changed to work with tools that I have on hand. Like, but it'll get him going through the workflow of how to actually run a machine in the 21st century.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to be able to have like both sides of it, like the digital world, and then be able to go over and try it in the physical world as well.
Yeah. I mentioned this to one of my other customers. He's like, "You're doing courses? Please, can I come? Please!" Like, they've got a Herco, and they're programming everything conversational on the machine, and he wants to. I mentioned, he's like, "Please, can he come through?" I'm like, "Let me finish up with Carl, and then you're welcome to come through, and I'll run you through my systems that you can at least try and start to implement them at your guys' business, because they don't program anything offline."
That's insane.
It's stupid. But that whole company is run like really badly.
I mean, and I guess it depends on whatever part you're making, but still, it's like, this isn't 1980 anymore. Like,
exactly. Like, no, exactly. And they do some fancy work on that Herco, but come to the 21st century where you can have your tool libraries pre-configured and all these things. Like I was explaining to Carl, the tool library in Fusion mirrors what's on the front of my machine, because my machine is all tagged. So it is a direct mirror of that. I ran a job this afternoon quickly. I had set up 2 new tools. I just quickly lasered new tool tags for them, set them up. They came out the machine. They're on the rack. I don't have to
Right.
think about it. I needed to change drills. I just put the drill in, load the offset, and hit go. Because the tool tag's upright, it's been touched off. Like super, why make your life difficult if you don't have to?
No, exactly. Exactly. That's what I say. I don't even mind now collecting just a whole host of tool holders, because same thing. It's like I don't want to change a drill out. I'll change a drill out if it breaks, but otherwise, like I just want to put the holder away and like know that it's good. Like,
My drills have been in the machine a little bit long, but like I have all the standard drills from all the standard tapping sizes from M3 to M12 live in the machine. They live in tool holders. They're dedicated. And then like now I've got funny stuff like a 5.9 for the 6mm reamer and a 6mm reamer. And like funny stuff will get swing in and out, but the rest of the stuff is like dedicated holders. I don't
yeah,
want to be going
totally.
looking for collets and tools that will just be set up.
Yeah,
Even now,
yeah,
like all
no,
my core tools for steel, 3mm, 4mm, 6mm, 10mm, and a 6mm rougher live set up. I don't want to mess with it if
yeah,
I can avoid it. Yeah. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
No, exactly.
I had an interesting begin. Like, yeah, you and I spoke on what was it, Sunday evening for you and Monday morning for me. Um,
Correct. Yeah.
yeah. So on top of all the stuff on the list, had a customer come past. We make re-rollers for debulging reloaded ammunition or spent casings. So when you
Okay.
shoot it with a Glock, the Glock's the the end of the chamber and the breech, there's a gap, like quite a big gap.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you find
Okay.
around, the brass actually swells, and if you put it into a gun that has a full length chamber, it jams. So we build re-rollers that roll these things, and I worked off a sample that he gave me, and we're exactly as the sample, but the sample was a copy of the original. And in that, there's a comma two variance on the spacing between the outer wall and the roller. So the old machine is a lot tighter. So he brought it here, we measured everything. So now I've got to rework a bunch of rollers for him, so that they now have a new spec that will actually squish the rounds in properly.
Oh, cool. Cool.
That also fixed the case gauge issues we were having, where factory rounds would gauge, reloaded rounds wouldn't gauge properly.
Right.
They
That
would
was the guy that
gauge. The,
he
yeah,
wanted
so
you to
the
like make a bigger gauge or something.
So they would
Same guy. Okay.
gauge, yeah, they would gauge in certain certain different brands of gauges, but not in our one. But our one meets factory spec. So it's like, yeah, it's really frustrating to deal with because I've got to make another 10 or 15 of them now this week of the gauges. But like
Hmm.
that reamer lives in a holder. The drills for that live in a holder. They green tool tags. They are dedicated to that specific job.
Yeah. No, that is the way.
100%. Like, yeah, I'm still trying to get around to order purple PETG for all my anchor point tools. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah, well, that'll happen when it happens. I ordered a bunch of
Yeah.
Arduinos and stuff today for the compressor controllers
Yeah.
that we're
Ooh.
building. Yes. Mine got feature creeped the hell out of it. So it got feature creeped, yeah. So I don't want to. I need it to run on on a 5 volt Arduino because the sensor is a 5 volt sensor. So my thought is to have a Home Assistant ESP32 next to it that will it'll basically give it the run command, so turn the compressor system on, or actually cycle power to the Arduino. Then it'll read when the compressor's running, so I can add that into Home Assistant. But it'll also give me two pins that I can make an automation for, that they alternate which one's on which day to
Gotcha.
prioritize which compressor I want running. So
Right.
then
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
pressure dips, the prioritized compressor turns on. If it isn't catching up by a set interval with a set, so I have a bunch of variables I can mess with. If it isn't climbing in pressure fast enough, second compressor then kicks on till
Right.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
reaches pressure, and then back to running number one for the day, or the prioritized one for the day.
Right.
So yeah, adding all the complexity to it. But ChatGPT and I will have a sit down with that at some point.
Nice. Yeah, that's I don't know. That's awesome. That's the same thing I
Yeah.
do. I was gonna lead lag mine, but I use so much air that they just both fire all the time
Okay.
because
Yeah.
like that stupid hardened just sucks air. So
Yeah. No, I know
easier
John
that
is
way.
interested in a controller because he's burned through 4 switches on his compressor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from it switching on and off. So I'm like, put big industrial contactor and turn that on and off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when
I
yeah, and
know.
when you cook the contacts, then move them over to the other 2 contacts. Like you can be sketchy like that. Because I mean
Yeah, I think
it's a
I
single phase.
I think mine are just flipped. I think I put like SCRs into mine because I was
Okay,
same
yeah.
thing. I was tired of them sticking. I'm like, F it. I'm just putting in like 80 amp SCRs and not worrying about it ever
I
again.
thought about that. I just didn't want to be generating heat unnecessarily. So I've got some
Yeah,
SERs. That was my thought, but I'd rather just have a contactor pull in and pull out. When it dies, you just go pick up a new one, like, and you
yeah, they're
know
cheap
if it's
enough.
died or not. Because the idea there is we switch off before the original switch would trigger, and we switch on at a much closer to the full pressure. So we're keeping a narrow band. But if the contactor burns in or whatever, the pressure switch will then trigger and will turn the compressor off.
Right.
So it'll
Yeah, that's the
fail
same.
back. It'll fail back to the original switch.
Exactly. It's the same game I play. I kept a mechanical switch in line. So yeah, if something ever goes awry, at least I have a double backup before hitting the
Yeah.
blow off, which is I guess
Well,
like a triple backup.
I spent the day in the dark because with the new network, Home Assistant refused to connect to the network.
But
Don't know why. Troubleshot it for most of the day. So I was in darkness because I have no backups on any of my lights in the workshop. I can switch them off. I can't switch them on. So yeah, that was a little infuriating working in the dark this morning
I'm only
because I'm
laughing because I did this. I did the same thing. I built the little smart devices, and I didn't put like a manual button where I could just turn them
yeah,
on and off. So yeah, if my network goes down, no lights. Like
yeah. So that's on the list of things to add. Is just a button that I can poke with a stick and turn the lights on and off. There's actually a button on the one at the back of the LK. So I just need to reassign that. That actually puts Iron Man mode on. So if you hold it for 2 seconds, then it enables Iron Man mode. Um, Now I just walk in and I loudly shout at my Google speaker and it turns my lights on. Unless it says there is no internet connection. And then it gets sworn at a bit more and I go onto my phone and do it. But yeah, the joys of smart devices. They're smart right up until they aren't.
yeah, exactly. And then you feel like you're a
Yeah.
victim of your own stupidity
Yeah.
or technology or whatever. Yeah,
So
yeah.
what have you been up to in the last day and a half, 2 days? I don't know, number of
Uh,
days. Have you
yeah.
most importantly, have you tested the DC holders?
I have not. I know I was going to
Okay.
pop them in the machine today, but I had to do some blasting and I do some tumbling this morning. So I was like, oh, I will test them. I got to run them soon enough here. I want to start
Yeah.
running screws again. So yeah, I will test them soon. But very happy with them so far. They seem quite nice. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully the runout's great. If the runout's great, I'm going to buy a whole gang of them because, like I said, my tool paths don't really push metal removal rates or
No.
material removal rates, so they'll be perfect for my needs and great access. Like yeah, I'm quite impressed with them.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah,
Sorry.
not
I'm just
much.
seeing if I had a picture for you of the things I made this afternoon.
Ooh,
Um,
what did you make?
the carbide faced filing guards. I'm manufacturing
Oh,
them for a local. Yeah. You
I saw
saw
your
the.
story on that.
Yeah. So I threw them in the tumbler.
Oh, okay.
How long do you think it took to get them all just nice and uniform?
Just the aluminum bodies, or did you put the
Yeah,
carbide in there as
no,
well?
no, just the aluminium
Okay.
bodies, just to take any tooling marks off, just make it a uniform finish.
Knowing your tumbler, half an hour.
8 minutes.
That's
8
ridiculous.
minutes. I was like, this noise is too noisy. Pulled them out. They were super uniform. So like, it's
Wow.
got the tumbled finish, but like they came off shiny. The problem is you put them down and they're going to pick up a ding, and they're going to be
Right.
used
Yeah.
for grind. So we're going to do that so it kind of hides um, it hides the dings for at least a little
Right.
while because we're
Yeah. Yeah.
making them.
Yeah.
So those are 6082. We're going to make them out of 7075, so they're a little bit harder. Um,
Hmm.
they were made out of stainless by the other guys, but screw that shit. I don't want to machine stainless if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Rather, like it doesn't need to be stainless. So we'll do them out of 7075. And then I got screw. You saw the screws that I got in. I saw you liked my thing, the little Torque
Yeah.
scrub screws. Yeah, that
Pretty.
that little envelope was freaking $100 worth of screws. Um,
Yeah.
and most of that was shipping and import duties. Like shipping and import duties. Um, so let me quickly think here. So I think the screws in total were $32.
Yeah.
The shipping with customs duties was $86.
Ooh,
Yeah, ordered it
rough.
on Thursday. It was here this morning.
I mean, that's nice.
Yeah.
At least you're getting it quick. But
No, it comes quickly. It's just freaking expensive. But we need
yeah.
the Torx countersunk screws because if we put a normal one in, we're going to Loctite the carbide faces in. Because if you leave it to the guys, they're going to over tighten and crack them. So we're going to Loctite them, and then if we need to break the Loctite, you just heat the whole block up, and then you've got a Torx driver to actually be able to drive it out. But yeah,
Yeah. No.
that's the theory at least. We'll see how
Nice.
well it works in practice.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm trying. Oh yes, you making fancy things. I'm looking through
Yeah.
the topics here. So those, I know we discussed the tools that came in, the China tools. How
Yeah.
extreme are these necks on these tools?
Ridiculous. So like you told me a few of the vendors you used
Yeah,
on AliExpress and stuff like that. So I kind of looked through all of them, and I kind of bought a sweep of budgets. I bought like some of the $4 tools. These are all 15,000 N mils. All like 4 mil diameter or 1/8, depending on what flavor I could get. So I bought them from like $5 up to like $30 per tool. And the nomenclature on every one of them is just like, you kind of have to like just infer what the manufacturer's talking about. And
yeah,
a lot of these were supposed to be like 4D tools, like 4 depth or 4 times diameter, whatever. And I got them in, and they're like 15 millimeters long before the tool
jeez.
starts to taper back up to size. So they're like needles. They're like needles on the end of 1/8 to or 1/8 shanks.
Yeah. So for
So
reference, that's a 0.38 millimeter end mill.
right, yeah. And some
It's
are point
freaking
0.3
tiny.
millimeter end mills because they were
Yeah.
easier to get, and 0.4 millimeter end mills because metric is
And
just easier to get.
is that a solid carbide shank, or is it fluted all the way up?
It's varying. Some of them I got with a
Okay.
really shallow depth of cut, so I'm hoping they'll be a bit more rigid. But for the
Yeah.
most part, like they're all like maybe 2 millimeter depth of cut,
Okay.
or
And
maybe
but then
1 or 2
just a
millimeter depth of
really,
cut.
really skinny carbide stick that it's on.
Yeah, yeah. Like if they were on any other website here, they would be classified as like
A long
20D
reach. Yeah.
tools, like super long reach tools. And
Yeah.
I
Or
was kind of
maybe
hoping they would
two.
be more stubby, but they're not. But anyways, if I blow them all up, it wasn't that expensive, so
Yeah.
not too concerned.
So like I know I bought some rib tools off BB where they are 22 millimeter depth of cut. I bought 1.5, 2, and 3 millimeter, but their
Mhm.
length of cut is only like 6 millimeters, and then the rest is solid carbide shank. That's neck just
Yeah,
under, like comma one under, so that it won't
yeah.
rub.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the small tools I've noticed with the guys I get from here, 1 millimeter, it's meant to have a 6 millimeter length of cut or 4 millimeter length of cut, and
Mhm.
the ones I had before projected 8 mil from where it like tapered down, and then I got a batch in that were like 12 or 13 millimeters, and those things you look at them skew and they break.
Yeah, yeah.
Like literally, I'd made like close to 1,000 parts with one of the short ones. I got 1.5 parts out of the longer ones, and then it
Oh.
died. I actually ordered two flutes and single flute because I was hoping one of them would be shorter and more rigid. Even if I have to go slower, if it's not going to break, that's fine.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
unfortunately, I only have 12,000 RPM.
Yeah. Well, it's the same game I played. I bought some 2 flutes and some 4 flutes and some 3 flutes just to see if I could get a
Yeah,
little bit thicker carbide shank on some of them, and they're cheap enough not to want to
yeah.
experiment with them. So we'll see. We
Okay.
shall see
I'm
soon
curious to
enough.
see how it's going to go with the different strategies.
Yeah, I think I'll try everything. I'm gonna try some plunge milling. I'm gonna try all kinds of
Yeah,
different things.
planche milling is surprisingly effective.
It is so effective in the past when I've done it. It's insane. Like,
Well, I mean,
but
I was on the torque spits that I've made many thousand of. I was actually assembling those today. It's one of my least favorite things with my little 1 ton, 3 ton arbor press. Turns out it's a 3 ton arbor press if you put a 1.5 meter cheetah bar on it.
nice.
The whole frame opens. It's great. Like the whole frame
Weird.
flexes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
who
know
would have
why.
thought? Yeah.
But yeah, I went from coming inside on and machining it out like adaptive or just
Mhm.
contour with step overs to plunge roughing. And my tool life went from like 100 pieces per tool up to like 400 pieces per tool on the Slowio. And now I
Mhm.
do 500 pieces on a tool, and then I throw the tool away because the next batch I don't feel like it breaking halfway through, or maybe it'll go
Yeah.
all the way through. But for the price of the tool, for a whopping like $5, I'll just use a new tool.
Right. Yeah. No doubt.
At that point, it's a couple cents per part,
Yeah.
so it's worth just throwing it in the bin. But yeah,
Yeah. No.
we're getting a batch of those in next month again. Yay! Another 500 Torx bits.
Hey, if it pays, whatever. You dialed
Yeah,
in
it
for it,
pays.
so
Yeah, it pays, and I'm pretty well dialed in. Although I don't know if I'm going to still have the setup as dialed in next time. Next time. because the riser is going to have to come out of the LK.
Okay. I don't know if
Yeah,
you're still doing those on the Slow-yo or if you brought them all over to the LK.
LK's got a tool changer.
That's okay. Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah,
and I went from doing, so I was doing 30 parts in, I think, 35 minutes on the Slow-yo. I now
yeah,
do
yeah.
20 parts in, I think it's 12 minutes.
Ooh,
So yeah, we're doing it considerably faster.
yeah, yeah.
Also put my toolpaths through I put my tool library through pre-tool, and that sped it up a little bit.
Sick.
It was actually a
Nice.
little bit more conservative on the one tool than I know works, so I just left it as it was.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, that piece of software has saved me many hours already.
That is
Like,
like, yeah, that's my number one tip for like newbies or if you don't know what you're doing, just start with that now. It seems like super effective.
yeah, it gets you a good starting point. So I found the steel surface footage is a little bit higher than my end mills like. I've got a chart for my end mills, and they like to go a little bit slower. So I just update the feeds with what I know the end mills like, and then it's fine.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know
Cool.
why
Yeah.
the surface speed requirement is lower, but it is. So I don't
Yeah.
argue with it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, and I
So
got the
you're, yeah. So yeah.
uh, I say the fourth axis on the Sile is nice and happy now, so I will eventually put all the code into it. The little Curt machined all the Canada pens this past week, which was kind of tedious because I spent like I don't know 40 hours doing like surfacing work on that little machine, maybe 50 hours. So it put in its time. it does
So
it
that's a
does
little
great
bit.
work. It just takes a long time.
Yeah.
Um, but
So have you
yeah,
got
just
Fusion posting the code the way you want it, or not yet?
beautifully. Yeah, it posts
Oh,
to
okay.
the fourth axis perfectly. I just don't know. I don't know if it's like some arc tolerance setting where I'm just like, because I'm 3D machining a chamfer on the fourth axis just to get it exactly to CAD. Because there's weird issues with Fusion when you're machining on a rotary, where it's like, do you want me to follow the outside circumference or the inside circumference? Because they're
Yeah.
different, and you have a straight tool, and chamfers they get weird. Like you'll get stretched chamfers and you
Okay.
can only tweak them so much without driving them off custom sketches. Anyways, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to 3D machine it. I got a high speed spindle. Who cares? Then I'll get it exactly to CAD. But it's kind of blowing corners. Kind of funny. It's coming around corners. It's making a beautiful finish. Like it's glass
Yeah.
smooth. The step over is perfect, but it's kind of blowing corners. So I got to figure out what's up.
Okay.
Something simple. But I want it to come out of Fusion perfect because on the Curt I altered all the code by hand and I don't want to do that again on the Sile because
No.
it's just so tedious and you can never update it. Like it's now I'm set. So yeah, it's
Okay.
lots of little fiddling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I said on Monday I was going to make a new spinning stop for my lathe with a shoulder.
Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
I did that, and guess what?
What?
It didn't even move back because there's a bloody shoulder. I also
Yeah.
discovered something interesting. So I thought the Turk out on my lathe might be going because
Right. Yeah.
it seemed like the drills were sitting down at an angle, like the tip was low. So as it was projecting out the holder, it seemed like the whole bed might be tilting. Everything else was still on center though, so it was a bit weird. Anyway,
Hmm.
was putting the block back on for the stop, turned it over, stoned it. I'm like, oh look, a shaving.
Ah.
So stoned the shaving. It was right at the back. The whole block was just canted down.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that would do it.
fixed it. Also, it turns out if you put a big corner radius on your carbide boring bar, it lasts more than 100 parts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
So I
Instead of
broke
dead
I
sharp.
broke the tip off this one on the last batch, and then I've got a tool and cutter grounder, so I just reground the tip in, and then I
Mhm.
just hand did a radius on the tip before I started it, and yeah, ran beautifully. Like no
Nice.
issues running. Yeah, my chip evacuation isn't great, but it cuts, so it's fine. Like yeah, did 500 parts in a day and a half.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
That's a
that's
nice thing about so it's a nice thing about lathes. Usually the tooling just seems to last forever.
well, yeah. And this so I had to change my parting insert every 200-ish parts. I would see the shavings weren't looking so happy, and then while it was running, I'd just pause it, turn the coolant off, undo the insert, put it back in, and then let it carry on running the cycle. Because yeah, once it fails, it fucking fails. So
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to just be ahead of that. But no, it ran friggin' beautifully. Tomorrow I've got work to go on to that lathe. And then I should have material arriving tomorrow for a bunch of hinges for armored doors. So yeah, the lathe's going to be busy for the next little while.
Yeah, that's Bertha now back up and
Yeah,
playing
Bertha's back
nice.
up and running, full featured. There was one thing that was bugging me on it. I can't remember what it was. It was some stupid little thing. Other than it I have to manually connect it to the NAS when it boots. So I just open
Oh,
command prompt, press up, and hit enter. It's not the end of the world. That is one thing Windows doesn't do, and it drives me mad. If you open
yeah.
command prompt, you can't just go to the previous commands. I'm like, yep, this is made for stupid people. Like I
Yeah.
leave stuff stored there. Like I was pinging Google from the old internet connection, and you have to type it in every time. You can't just up arrow to pull up old commands, and I was getting very annoyed with Windows. But yeah,
Yeah.
it can fun times. But yeah, yeah, I told you my gauge has arrived and the new tool holders arrived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
the
say
ball
you're
marks.
happy with both of them?
Yeah, the tool holders are the same as I've always had. They seem to be
Oh,
fine. I discovered my reamer that I bought. So I ordered a reamer from my local tooling guys. It was meant to be on Friday. It got here today. Um, it's a hand reamer that I'm just putting in a CNC machine. But the whole front of it is freaking tapered for like 20 mils.
ooh,
So it's got a long lead. And so I reamed the hole. The pin goes in and then stops. And what the hell? So I look at the reamer and I can see where the edge is sharp up at the top of the reamer. Bottom of the reamer, I can't see that sharp edge. So it looks like it's really tapered because it's a hand reamer. And I just put it
right.
in a tool holder. So I just
Yeah.
reamed through 20 millimeters, just went super deep because
Oh,
I've
okay.
got
Yeah.
clearance below the pot. So yeah, we make a plan. But yeah, these will
Yeah.
get put onto fixtures once we go into full production on them. But like I programmed the third op with the op, so it's got four holes that need to be threaded on the one part and two on the other part. The
Mm.
middle holes are on the same place, so I programmed them as six operations. So spot drill, drill, and then thread mill. But the outer holes and then the inner holes as separate tool parts, so I can make the outer holes optional. So
Oh,
I can
okay.
run the
Okay.
same op3 code, and just depending on which part's loaded, I can swap between it quickly.
Nice.
Although that'll end up in a fixture because one at a time in a vase, it's doable for. I think we got to do 80 parts. It's not the end of the world, but screw it, make a fixture.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no doubt. That's
Yeah, and this
so
will
much
hopefully
better.
go into production. These are probably going to end up around the world because once again, making shit in Africa is cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what this
And
podcast has taught me.
yeah, not because I'm not paying myself or like that kind of shit. It's just our costs here are lower. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, no, we you talk off air about things and I'm like, wow, that's very, very affordable. But like you said, everything scales. So I mean, it
everything
doesn't
scales.
quite scale because like some of your things there are just insanely cheap. Even if you brought it over here, like I wouldn't, it
Yeah,
wouldn't be affordable for me. So yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting.
No, it's interesting the different. Like even you hear about guys what people earn in different countries, and you're like, oh, they earn so much money there. I look at my sister in law. She was a doctor here. Her husband was picking. He was a paramedic, but he was looking after their three daughters. He would pick up like a shift or two a month just to get out of the house. And
Hmm.
they owned a house here. They lived well, and
Hmm.
they went to Ireland. They're now living in a house that should only actually have like three people living in it, not five. And they barely scraping by, like
Right.
on a doctor's
Yeah.
salary. Like it's
Yeah.
and it's not because they're living lavishly. It's they like having to really skimp to make it through on the one salary because he can't work there because he had to write an English exam because he's from Africa. He had to write an English exam.
Okay.
Yeah, so that he could
Isn't
then
Africa like chock full of English people though too?
exactly. He speaks fucking better English than most of the freaking English people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like yeah, just stupid bureaucracy things. But I think he's finally in a position where he can actually get a job there now and start
Nice.
properly contributing towards the household. But I mean, yeah, three daughters. It was cheaper for him to stay at home than for them to get a full time nanny in South Africa that would look after the girls through the silly hours that they were working as a paramedic and a doctor because they worked some really dumb hours.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the same jig here. Is like, unless you're making a decent, like if you're making anywhere close to minimum wage, and I mean, Canada, we have a pretty high minimum wage, but if you're making like around that and you have to, pay for childcare, it's like, it almost doesn't make sense. Like you might as well just stay home.
Yeah. So I know my mates in England. They had their first daughter. Michelle got 9 months of maternity leave, I think the first like 3 months are fully paid, and then the rest they can't fire you, but they only have to pay you half. So she
Mm.
stayed at home for 9 months, then got pregnant again, just had their second one, and same
Yeah,
story. Stay at home for 9 months, like
yeah,
look after the kids. By that point, they can go off to daycare, and
yeah,
they get some rebates after like a year of them being at daycare. It starts to get a government grant or something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
like, yeah,
No,
my mate Justin works from home on a Friday so that he can keep an eye on his daughter, so they don't have to pay for daycare on a Friday.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
that's the one area I can't bitch about at all for our land here, because like our maternity leave is insane, our
yeah,
benefits for childcare is insane, like all that stuff is very affordable. After I just said, if you make minimum
yeah,
wage, sorry, if you make minimum wage and you don't qualify for any of the subsidies, yeah, it sucks.
yeah.
But other than that, you're golden.
No, but
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, even Ireland, my sister-in-law gets a rebate for her one daughter. She gets like a couple €100, and then the other two are twins, so she gets more money per child for them. Like
Right. Yeah.
as a rebate, don't have to be a citizen. You're living in the country, working in the country. Here's money to make sure your kids have a good start in life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind
So
of an
we've
important
got the
thing.
same thing here, except what happens is they have a child, dump it with the grandmother, and then that subsidy is considered stable income, so you can go get a cell phone contract with it.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's literally called the cell phone grant. You have a baby, so you can go get a cell phone. Yeah. No, it's a huge issue. Like shit out a bunch of kids, leave them with your grandmother to look after them and raise them while you go carry on jawling.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Africa's not for the faint of heart.
That's a good way to put it.
It's yeah, no, this place, fuck, yeah, this place is special. Oh yeah, those
Cool.
the pictures you posted from your little Canon printer.
Mm,
I like that the anchor
that's
points between your daughters. Like fucking hate that. Danica
wow.
thought that
That's
was quite entertaining.
daughter one, anchor point, daughter two. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's exactly order of importance. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
no, yeah,
I know we talked about it in the Super Broken podcast, which we'll probably
yeah.
allude to later. But yeah, I bought one of those little Canon 1500 selfie printers. Amazing. And like if you want, I do a lot of documentation. I just like to write
Mm.
stuff down because I make pens. So it's kind of I do a lot of writing. But I like to take pictures of things and print them. And yeah, little printer, super cool. It's like a couple $100 Canadian. Prints are like I don't know 30 to 50 cents each, and they're super good quality, like 90% of a photo lab. So
Yeah,
I was quite pleased with that. I've been playing with that and printing all kinds of dumb pictures now. So
yeah. My mother-in-law. So we've set my mother-in-law up with a Google Drive that all the siblings can dump pictures of their children into, so she can make
nice.
them photo books of all the kids, and it's archived monthly. So monthly they go dump all the stuff in that month's thing, and then all the photos there is not. Oh, can I have this photo? No, it's fucking there. And then
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the Irish ones were like, no, use this instead. So Danica was like, listen here. When there's a problem, she phones you. I will not help her. I've devised a whole system with instruction. Like Danica made full on instructions for the shit so that any moron could do it. And yeah, it was a little bit of a pain point for a while.
Danica scares me. She seems like a lovely lady, but she seems scary. I don't want to anger her. I want to stay
She
on her
gets
good side.
intense. Let's put it that way. She gets very intense. Yeah. If you hear, by the way, if anyone hears anything funny in the background, they were watching Mormon Housewives or something. Her and her friends.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
I would
Tuesday night.
watch
It's
that.
on, I think, Netflix or Prime. I don't know. It's about the whole mom talk swingers scandal story. It looked
Oh
really
wow.
dumb, like really dumb. We were watching it while we are having dinner. Yeah, so yeah, we're recording on a Tuesday, and Tuesday night, Danica's friend comes for dinner. So they down in the lounge talking loudly. But,
Oh,
good.
fun stuff.
Yeah, lots of fun stuff there. So, how's your? Oh, you mentioned anti-aliasing research for resin printers. Please spread
Yes.
your knowledge. How far? Okay, we are 39 minutes in. So I'm going to take a note of how far we in because I'm going to make my mate Dave listen to this.
All right.
39.
Well, my research and my testing so far has shown me that for my stuff that I'm printing, anti-alias is don't use it. It's as in no help to me. But I'm also trying to print like super accurate CAD models where the surface finish is going to be dictated by finishing processes, not by what's coming
Yes.
directly off the printer. However,
Okay.
a little bit of anti-aliasing on a print turns out really, really nice. Like it does smooth over details. Like if I was printing like models or something to paint, like
Yeah.
Warhammer or something like that, I would crank up a little bit of anti-aliasing just to kind of
So I think his by
reduce
default
the
is on
voxels.
8x.
Fair, yeah, and that's already pretty high. Like I
No,
ran it
no,
at
it goes up
2,
to
and
like
I can notice.
32 or 64 or something. Like
Oh
that was
wow,
just the
okay,
default. So he was asking me because being the good friend I am, I was like, "Hey Dave, come visit. Here's a printer. Take it.
oh
I don't
nice,
want it. Go learn." And then he went down
yeah,
that rabbit hole. So like he phoned me to get me to explain supports. Like why does he need supports? Like
right,
in his mind, you put it on the bed, you print it, you take it off. And I'm like, no, you do that and then it breaks. So you put it on at
yeah.
an angle. Also, constant exposure size. Like there's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. So I was trying to explain all this to him, and then he's going to run down a rabbit hole with that. Like he was
Well, and then
printing
there's
stuff for his drone.
mm, then there's also the aspect of like the exact flavor that you're exposing the resin with. Like most of those like
Yes.
masked LCDs are naturally going to have just a little bit softer because they're casting a shadow. Whereas like the printer I'm using is a DLP. So DLPs have like, they're not as high resolution, but they're also incredibly sharp per pixel. So if
Yes.
you don't like, you get really crisp voxel lines if you don't have any aliasing on, which is fine for my needs. But if you're printing models, you might want to crank it up. And it's like, there's 1,000 different things to
What
consider.
is
And then
your what is your pixel size on that?
50 micron.
Oh, that's huge.
50, is it 50 micron or 5 micron? Whatever.
I think
Maybe
it's
it's
50
maybe
micron.
it's maybe it's 50 micron. Yeah.
So my Crealities are 51 micron. The any
Yeah.
cubic I gave Dave is 34 microns.
Right. But see, and
And
that's
that's
another weird
literally
thing.
the cheapest printer you can buy is the any cubic that I gave him. He
Yeah.
was having issues with scaling. For some reason, the printer, the default, pulled in at 35 on the printer profile, not 34.
Mm,
So he printed something 60 mils long. He's like, it's 62. Did the maths,
mm,
61.79 is what it actually was. So he
right.
had his pixel size wrong. So I'm trying to
Well,
find you a picture quickly. But
and I might
carry
be
on.
speaking out of school, but like that's the thing too, is like like this little DLP, it's got a tiny, its effective resolution is only like, I don't know, whatever, 2K, but it prints the
Yeah.
same as an 8K printer because you have just crazy sharp cutoff because you have like black and white. Like there's no shade difference because it's
You
mirrors that are
can see my
reflecting the
face
light.
right now, right, Kurt?
What's that?
The 8K, 4K, it is the biggest marketing
It's
wank
it's
ever
such it's
because your
such a
screen size,
yeah.
it is literally your pixel size is what counts, not how many pixels there are. Because if your pixel size is
Yeah.
4 by 4 or 40 by 40 microns, and it's
And it's
a
yeah.
4K printer, and you got some dude with a 2K printer, but it's got a 20 micron spot size, well, hello, 20 microns more
Yeah.
accurate. No,
Yeah.
that annoys me a bit.
There is so much marketing like thing, and then there's just a million things to consider. Like I didn't realize actually when a bed comes down on a resin printer, there is a significant amount of pressure that's pushing against the resin. Like I thought it was also like a zero
Yeah,
pressure, but no, like to squeeze resin down to like whatever 20, 30, 40, 50 micron, like you're putting a lot of force into it. Enough force where you're probably
especially,
bending the z axes, and like
yeah,
there's just all kinds of things to
especially if it's
consider.
cold.
Totally,
Like,
right? Yeah. Like heat your resin. Yeah, for sure.
so I'm trying to
Yeah.
find this. I want to show you this. I want to send you this picture quickly, but I can't find it. This is riveting podcasting. Um, oh, okay. He only sent me. I thought he had
I
sent me
need
proper stuff of his drone, but he only sent me the glue up examples. He was actually quite
mm,
shocked how well the glue worked. So he had a scrapped radiator because I gave him the scrap ones. Smeared glue on it, didn't clean it, no surface prep, just smeared the glue on. Took a carbon tube and stuck it on. Left it
mm,
secure. Was expecting to just grab it and snap it off. No, no,
mhm.
no. Bent the radiator.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh,
the
that's
same
cool.
glue I used to glue the carbon filled PTFE to Bertha when I replaced the Turcotte.
Mm.
And
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
it sticks shit to a blanket.
yeah.
I also was smart when I did that and I put a lip on each end. So I had the Turcotte or the PTFE made a little bit shorter. And when we glued it in, I made sure there was glue on each end. So it's being held in place and it can't slide out because there's a stopper made of glue on each end.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, that
because I
makes
knew it
sense.
wasn't going to stick properly. Like it's
Yeah.
PTFE, nothing
I'd
sticks
say
to
you're
it.
gluing PTFE and like there's a couple things you can do, but yeah, it's hard to bond.
We scuffed it up, and yeah, that stuff stuck actually really well, like
Hmm.
shockingly well. I know John and I were discussing today about replacing his PTFE on his sharp mill because the
Mm.
PTFE dropped out of one of the ways. So he just put a fixture plate the size of the machine and machined it square.
Nice.
So running is fine. Cast iron and cast iron. You can run like that for a little while.
Right, yeah.
So he's looking at, now that he's got the second mill up, he's looking at stripping it and re-turcoting it. But it is a bit of a thing. Like I don't think
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
ever. You'll never get it perfect like it was in factory. But if he puts it in and reskims his plate, he's going to be good enough. Might have to just
sure,
skim
yeah,
the plate every 6 months to make sure it stays true if the Turkite wears it all.
right, yeah,
Because
yeah. It
interestingly
depends what you're
enough,
trying to do.
my Turkite was scarved, or my carbon PTFE. So they machined a block the size I wanted and then scarved it off to thickness.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, because I asked them how they're doing that, they'll scarve it. So they machine it to your finished size, and then they scarve the thickness. So they'll scarve the top, and
Oh,
then they'll scarve your layer, so it's super consistent in thickness.
interesting.
Yeah,
Cool. I didn't know that.
it's the most expensive little roll of plastic I ever bought. And then literally it coiled up to about this big, and it was about
Yeah,
20 mils high, and
yeah.
that cost me, I want to say it was like $200.
Ugh,
Yeah,
yeah.
$200 on a machine that cost me all of $1,000.
Right.
Yeah, like I was a bit put out by that one.
Yeah, no
But
doubt.
yeah,
I could understand
so
that.
yeah, I told you I went fishing.
You did. Yeah.
Yes, tomorrow I'm going to buy a new boat.
Uh-oh.
As
What
well as,
happened?
yeah. No, so I messaged a guy on Marketplace. There's a plastic boat I want. Messaged him on Saturday. Nothing. Replied to my message this morning. So I sent him a message saying, cool, I'm interested. Where are you? Can you send me a WhatsApp message with some more pictures? So I got some more pictures of the boat. Turns out he's just up the road from one of my customers who I have to go see tomorrow. So I'm going
Oh,
to go
cool.
pick up a new boat, and then I sold my boat to the guy I went fishing with on the weekend.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, with a trolling motor. So my new boat ended up costing me like $120.
Nice.
Yeah, nice cheap boat. And yeah, and then we're planning on going again on Sunday, and then we'll go in two boats and go fuck around on the water.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's important to get a disconnect from the workshop because I'm battling with
Hmm.
that at the moment. Is actually just clean disconnecting from the workshop because like I come in the house, I'm still kind of thinking about work. I go to bed, I'm thinking about work, but at least when I'm fishing, there's a bit less of that going on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta kind of find one of those hobbies that just kind of forces your brain to not think about it.
Yeah, no, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like I'm desperately trying to do that now because yeah, you can't be working all the time. That's how
Hmm.
burnout happens.
Hmm.
And if you're
Yeah.
still listening, Dave, you're the reason that I'm doing things because I saw what burnout does. Yeah, Dave burnt the candle on both ends and the middle, and yeah, it ended not so nicely. Um, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very cognizant of not pushing myself that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah,
that
it
makes
it
sense.
pushed him so far that he's become a homosexual fly fisherman now. He goes on romantic camping trips with one of our other friends because they're both into fly fishing.
Hey, whatever
I
turns
don't
you
want to look,
crank.
yeah, I don't want to look like a autistic person when I'm fishing.
I do like
Uh,
fly fishing for that aspect. I'm like, ooh, I like all the detail and intricacy of this
so that's
game,
the
but
thing. Dave gets really into the detail and intricacy. Like he ties his own flies
mhm,
and he's like really
of
into
course.
that side of it. Like we used to
Mhm.
go fishing for catfish or barbel. Yeah, I'm like, hey, we're going fishing. Let me make bait quickly before we go. He's been
Right.
making bait for the last week, trying new and fancy things. I'm like, Jamie, pitches up with beer and fishing rod. Let's go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
I don't get that into the minutia of it. Oh, that actually reminds me. I just saw a cool desk ornament. Just wipe the dust off of it.
Oh, that does look cool. It's like a little micro spool.
It's a diving spool for your marker buoy.
Oh,
So they put a rope through the middle, and then
okay.
yeah. So I made these samples for someone. They were meant to order lots, and they never did. But I kept one, and this is clocked. The slots are offset because I
Right.
could.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
that's
machined it
cool.
on Bertha, and then put it in the mill and milled the spokes.
That's I'm assuming aluminum,
Yeah, and then
judging by its
anodized.
color. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
sick.
my
It looks
favorite
pretty.
material. Yeah, no,
It looks
I mean
for
that's
the
been on my
listeners,
desk
it
for like
just looks like a
3
little
or 4
threaded
years.
spool, but yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I think I've actually got a picture somewhere on my Instagram of the whole batch of these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they wanted them with just holes. Then I made a couple that had big pockets because it looked cooler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Neat.
obviously,
Yeah,
make things that look cool. All right,
it
let's
helps.
quickly shout out our Patreons. So thank you to all our patrons who make the show happen. Uh, the top tier patrons get a shout out. So Jade at Benchmark 20, thank you for your support. And Luke from Fabtastic, Fabtastic. I made that sound weird. Sorry, Luke from Fabtastic, thank you for your support as well. Yeah, we're we're gonna have to drain the Patreon account because I think Zencaster did some sketchy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't know. You've been listening to Taps and Patience. Do you remember when AJ accidentally bought a year's worth of Zencaster?
I don't recall that, but
Oh yeah, he
okay,
accidentally bought a year. Guess what happened today?
okay. About another year.
We accidentally bought a year.
Oh, fancy,
So
fancy.
we updated to the top tier. Danica
Right.
selected monthly for the plan.
Yeah.
Double checked it because she knows AJ did this. Double checked, and then today I'm in the workshop and I get an SMS or a message for like 200 and something dollars, and I'm like,
Yikes.
what the fuck is this? Zencaster for the year. I'm like, well, guess what? We're doing another 52 podcasts.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I was a little annoyed, but yeah, not the end of the world. Just yeah, surprise.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting.
But yeah, no, we upgraded so we can do video when we have internet that works, and yeah, that's resulted in my account being debited for a whole bunch. Yay! But yeah, anyway, shit happens. Could be worse.
Oh,
So
thank you to the Patreons for keeping
yeah, thank
Jamie
you. Yeah,
eating noodles.
keeping me fed with noodles. Yeah, no, I mean, this is what it is. Could have been worse. Um, so yeah, how's your development on your UFO going?
Fantastic. So as background, I got some shirts printed from a print on demand service that I wanted to do for because we have such lovely shirts for the Lone Machinists podcast.com. Check them out, go buy them. Danica's uploading more as far as I know.
Yeah,
So I wanted to join the fray and have some that are kind of more in line with my pen world. And I got my samples back, super not happy with them. Just kind of alignment all over the show. I'm using a like huge one of the huge fulfillment companies, which is shocking. So I sent him an email basically saying like, "Hey, is this like, can I pay more to get them better, or is this like they were middle of the road price?" So, anyways,
yeah,
not pleased with them. But that led on to the aspect of I wanted to make a machine, but I want to have a UFO in it. I have a really cool design, but I need a UFO, and I like to tie my products in with like the things I make. So I wanted to design a UFO shaped product, and it came out super well. This was just going to be something for me. That's why I'm doing so much resin printing lately, is because I'm trying to make a low cost version of it so I can have something that I can sell to people that is not hundreds and hundreds of dollars, or give away to friends or whatnot. So yeah, that's been tinkering away on that. That was supposed to be a super easy project. Now I think I've sunk 40 hours of CAD into it, so it's feature creeped, because that's what we like to do, is make things way more complicated than they should be. So hope they'll have more details on that soon enough. It's kind of like a fidgety thing. It was supposed to be a mechanical counter, and now it's kind of turned into like a weird fidget toy something or other. So I don't know. I'll see where it progresses to. It looks super cool, so that always helps.
yeah. No, it looks quite cool. You posted it on the
Yeah, thanks.
Instagram on your Instagram.
Yeah, I think I just did some
Posted some
stories on it.
pics of it, yeah, or something.
Yeah, I don't want it to I try not to post like a ton of details about things that I kind of still
Yeah,
have in the works now, because I get so many people just like jump on an idea that I have and then execute it poorly. And
yeah,
I'm so annoyed by I'm like, I don't care if you steal my idea, but make it better. Don't just make a
better,
shitty
yeah,
version and then sell it, cuz then I'm like, well, now if I sell it, like people are going to be like, well, that other one was not very good, so yours can't. I was like, no, I was the original. I had a better idea, but someone else
yeah,
jumped on it and made a shitty version. So anyway, I try to keep everything close to the chest now.
yeah. No, it looks quite cool.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, bringing back fidget spinners.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it doesn't even spin. Like it
Oh,
looks like it
nice.
should spin, but it doesn't spin at all. It's like all just mechanical movements and
Bringing back
slides
the
and
fidget static.
bringing back the fidget something or other. But it moves like every part on it moves. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be. I
Okay.
think I'm gonna actually looking at my sample prints I did this morning. I think I'm just gonna machine some Delrin parts for it as well. It'd be Delrin and
Okay.
Ultim, and then titanium and Ultim for more spendy versions. I'm just not
Yeah.
super happy with the resin prints yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it
Okay.
progresses. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Never,
chatting to
never.
Ben from Toolpath. He's taking
Mm-hmm.
the anchor point that I sent to Justin and Ben. I engraved with Justin and Ben, Toolpath Labs,
Cool.
with the intention of Ben taking it to make his knives. So he was
Sick.
making
Yeah.
a riser with Toolpath today. So he designed the
Cool.
riser, had Toolpath program the whole thing. Yeah. So he's
Nice.
taking that home. He's just finished renovating his workshop as well, so that he doesn't need to build the warming box of insulation around his machine.
I love
Yeah, it's
that.
great. It's literally the hot box around his machine, so his coolant wouldn't freeze in winter.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love it. I love. I'm like, you just go in there and you're just in the box of noise and heat. It's like,
Uh, yeah, like I must say, here in Africa. So at the dam on the weekend, last time I was there was 6 months ago, like middle of summer, and the lilies
mm,
were wild, like 20 meters of lilies from the bank.
wow.
And we went there, and there's no more lilies. There's no more of the big lilies. So I'm assuming the
Okay.
big lilies are a tropical lily and die off in the winter, and then the small
Mm,
lilies can survive through the year. Um, but that reminded me that our climate here is like super mellow. Like, oh no, it's
yeah.
really cold. 10 o'clock in the morning, you're wearing a t-shirt, drinking your coffee in the sun. Like, we get a little bit of frost in the morning. Oh no. Like, we've really got it. We've got it good here compared
Right.
to a
Yeah.
lot of places in the world. Like, even summer is not brutally hot in Johannesburg.
Oh,
Durban is,
okay.
Durban is unreasonable. Yeah, you don't need to shower because you're freaking wet already. Um,
Ugh.
yeah, no, it's humid as hell and like 30 degrees every day, 30, 33 degrees
Ugh.
Celsius every day. Whereas up here in summer, we get 25, 27. Really hot day, we might come up on 30. And
Oh, okay.
winter, you'll drop down to, in our area, -2 overnight. And by 10 o'clock in the morning, it's around 12 degrees already. And by the
Oh.
afternoon, 16, 17 degrees.
Oh, okay. That's
That's like
reasonable.
shorts and
Yeah.
t-shirt weather.
Totally. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's why
That's
we shorts
that's
all year round.
fair enough. Yeah, I get
It's
that.
against my dress code to wear long pants.
Long pants.
Yeah, no, never. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, let me quickly shout out my lovely wife, Danica, who edits the podcast for us and designs the shirts on my website on jspectng.com. The shirts are leaving in 10 days. So if you want what's on there now, I suggest you grab one soon. There will be new designs coming, and they are coming the 1st of next month. So go and
Yay.
check them out. So yeah, the anchor points are nearly sold out, Curt.
Yeah, you told me that. You told me some
Yeah,
psychopath
because
from Africa bought a whole wackadoo.
some crazy dude in a garage. Yeah, I'm sure we've discussed the Tufnell job in the
Yeah, I
past.
believe so.
Yeah, so that is finally coming on. I got a call on Monday. The guy's like, "Please, I need a quote for making this first part of it. We're going to start with the one, and then we'll move through the rest." So he's going to get a very interesting quote with all the setup fees because he needs to buy 4 anchor points for my machine.
Nice.
Effectively, yeah. Well, I'm not putting them on there for free. Like, I need to do it for his job. I've got to build all the fixturing for his job. He can pay for it. Um, so yeah, I'm waiting for Roger, who listens. Hello, Roger. I'm waiting for him to send me the file. I'm going to chase him tomorrow morning for it, so that I can start planning how the hell I'm going to machine this. I think it's going to come in at 30 millimeters thick, so like inch
Mhm.
and a quarter. Face it, put some features in it, then turn it over, bolt down, and then machine all the perimeters and some chamfers and stuff. It's
Mm.
not it's not a shitload of machining. It's just a lot of setup and prep. Like, gonna
Right.
probably spend a week and a half just on making the mooring points, getting them into the machine, making the vacuum pads for those, so I can machine the fixture so that it can drop into the anchor points, um,
Right.
and then I can swap out the entire bed of my machine.
Nice.
So then I'm going to make a system for making my probe removable, my tool setter.
Oh, okay. Just to gain
Yes.
more space, or
I need the entire travel of my machine, and
oh, gotcha. Okay.
yeah, it'll be in the way, so it'll get moved. So my thought is, so obviously you and I have both seen the Titans of CNC system, their little
Yep.
kinematic coupling thing. I'm like, screw that shit. That's way over the top. Plate, some dowels, drop it on. It repeats in Z. X and Y, it can
Yeah.
be off by a thou or two. I don't really care. All I'm doing is
Right.
testing Z. So I'm just literally going to make a little plate with some locating features that it's 2 bolts to take it on and off. That it can
Nice.
come off easily if I'm not using it or I need the space, and can go
Mhm.
on easily. I got a message from a US company wanting to send me free products to review as an influencer. I was like, cool, I will take your stuff. They've got the push button ball locks. So I might just go with those, that it's literally 2 push buttons, releases the balls,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
unit
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
out. Because it
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't need a
Yeah.
lot of force.
No,
It
right.
just
Yeah.
needs to be
Exactly.
held reliably. So I was thinking, that might not be a bad plan. At least then it's being used for something constructive.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they actually send me stuff. I don't know if they realize I'm in South Africa. Like, hey,
Wow.
surprise, $100 shipping.
I
So
I mean, but the price of the part, like it might be a
yeah.
total wash. So
So we've got a. It looks like they do knobs and shit by the looks of it.
hmm.
So yeah, I'll see that. They obviously see that I make my own shit. So then I'll hit them up for some free knobs and things. Because our
Nice.
local guys, oh, you want to buy it? No, 6 weeks delivery. We send it with a drunk donkey from Europe. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
get with the program, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's the
Exactly.
reason I make my own locating pins is because of that supplier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah, they
it's
are beyond uses. Oh, speaking of suppliers, the last batch of springs have arrived for the anchor points.
sick. Yeah, you've been waiting on this for a bit. Yeah.
So they've got another 70 in stock, and they're going to order another. I think they're going to order another 100. So he'll hold
Hmm.
120 in stock for me. So I'll buy those up as soon as I'm less poor, and then I'll have stock of a month's supply,
Nice.
or what will hopefully become a 2 week supply,
Yeah. Well,
because that
play it by
is a
ear.
reasonable turnaround on making 20 units.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that next batch is in the works, but a little way out. So of the 7 anchor points that I think are still in the garage, I think
Hmm.
there's 7. I don't know. There's a number of them. 2 have been set aside for the guy who did a pre-order for batch 2, so that he
Mm-hmm.
can. I've reserved 2 of the units for him, so I don't have to hit the pre-order date of end of this month. I think I'm actually going to push the pre-order date out. I'm going to still manufacture them whether we get pre-orders or not.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just if you want to reserve a spot, you can. Kind of story. Because yeah, there's one on the
Slick.
way to Canada. I think it landed in Canada today.
Oh, cool.
The first actual production anchor point in Canada, because all the rest have gone to the US.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I also got, I don't know if I told you, I got an email from Milton, Australia. 1 second.
I don't think so. No.
Oh, yeah. He filled out on Sunday morning early, he filled out the anchor point interest form
Hmm.
and then popped me an email as well. And we were chatting back and forth. Um, sorry, this is the best looking stuff up on the podcast. Oh, there we go. Found it. Okay. Uh, Byron from Milton, Australia, who says he listens to the podcasts and has been following the Anchor Point build.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, shout out to Brian. Thank you for contacting us, and I will respond to your email. He potentially is looking at getting an X5 in the near future
Oh,
as well. So yeah, I
fun
wanted to
stuff.
actually get you to talk about your X5. Not that you
Yeah.
ran it like excessively.
No, it's fantastic. QC sucks. That's
Okay. Yeah,
that's what I've come across so far.
that seems to be the gist with the Sal machines at the moment.
Totally. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I knew that going in is like, I knew I'd have
Yeah,
to check with a fine tooth comb. If I wasn't comfortable checking everything over, I wouldn't have bought one. But I mean, if
yeah,
you got basic skills, which you probably do if you're running a machine shop, because you have to kind of
yeah.
be a jack of some trades.
All trades.
But yeah, I think it's
But
worth
no,
it.
what you do is you buy one from Titans of CNC, and then they have no service calls. It's
That's a
quite
great
impressive.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard this.
they
Yeah.
don't break.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's a podcast in itself right there.
It is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool that Aaron from CNC support, CNC repairman. He's
Yeah.
actually like if you phone the sales support line, you get through to him
That's cool.
in the
That's
US.
cool.
Yeah. So he's handling all of that. Nat Oak knows way too much. Like I
Oh
spent
yeah.
a
Yeah.
bunch of
No
time with
doubt.
him at INTS. We actually went to dinner with him and spent quite a bit of time with him. I was called a
Yeah.
unicorn. Um, but no, we were discussing retrofits. He's like, yeah, no one ever finishes them. I'm like, I finished one last week. He's like, no, you don't count.
Yeah.
Because we're chatting. I'm like, yeah, I've done like 15. I think at this point, I've done like with Raspberry Pis, I think I'm on like 7 of them that I've deployed with Linux CNC.
Yeah.
No, I've deployed a bunch of them.
Have you
Uh,
have you ever seen that meme? It's like talking about like I don't know, like kids and like computers or something like that. And it's like I forgot something, whatever. And it's like, well, what if you run Linux or whatever? And it's like, oh, autistic kids will be eliminated from this study because they skew the results. It's just like, yeah, pretty much. It's like a
yeah,
lot of people play that game. So
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people start retrofits. Not a lot of people finish them.
Yeah, well, it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard.
I wouldn't call my machines finished. Mine, I said it would work. I didn't say it was done.
Yeah, they'll never be done, but yeah. Yeah.
No, I've got the wooden panels still because I laser cut them and then just didn't bother cutting the acrylic ones because there were some small
Mm-hmm.
tweaks and I didn't feel like doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more permanent than a temporary solution.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
No.
I need to go tomorrow on the list of things to do is to see if the MCO's tool changer is working because I think I might have got some water into it. And then
Ow.
the main plane bearing gets a little rusty.
Ugh.
So if that's the case, I'm drilling a bloody hole in it this time and adding an oiling screw so that I
Oh,
can
yeah,
literally
yeah.
just pump oil into it once a month and not worry about this. It was a
Yeah.
little sticky, but I've got error correction on it now. So it does a tool change, checks it's done the tool change. If it hasn't achieved the position, it then reattempts the tool change and it'll keep doing that. So at
Nice.
least it doesn't slam the freaking drill into the collet chuck anymore because it
Yep.
did that a few times before we fixed it. I mean, my
Yep.
lovely wife Danica and I, because she is better at programming things than me.
Ooh.
She's very modest
Impressive.
about it, but yeah, her problem solving skills are fucking right up there with and reading code. Like when I was setting up the MCO tool turret, I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
figure out how it was differentiating between the different tools. I'm like, all I'm seeing is the freaking sequences. She's like, exclamation mark. I hadn't seen them
Ah.
in the code, and that's how it was obviously inverting the logic. So yeah, she
Right,
came there
yeah.
like, oh, idiot. There we go. But yeah, it took us. I think it took us like 4 or 5 hours to implement error checking on that Python script
Wow.
because neither of us program Python,
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
like I literally just went through and figured out logically what's happening, and then
Yeah.
knew the syntaxy things to make it do what it was supposed to do. And literally 10 minutes later, it caught the first missed tool change.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could, yeah. That's where it pays for itself. It's
Yeah.
like even
No,
if it
I
took
was
you
doing
weeks
something the
to
other
put
day,
that in.
and it caught one, and I'm like, fucking hey, that is why
Yeah,
it's implemented. Like
totally,
I
100%.
actually pulled a new backup of it the other day, so that
Nice.
I've got a fresh backup of that whole system because there's a bunch of code on there that's been hand edited that I don't want to lose.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually need to go through and disable the Wi-Fi on all of my Raspberry Pis, but the the Raspberry Pi -config doesn't work. You've got to use menu -config.
Oh,
That's a 45 minutes endeavor to figure that shit out every time because I forget it. And then
right. Yeah.
on this specific build, you can't save the PNC config if your
Hmm.
locale is not the US. It just
Oh, that's
shits the bed.
convenient.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
shits the bed, and you can't do anything. You can't save what you've typed in, what you've configured. You have to scrap it and go change the locale, and then you can save it out.
Weird.
Yeah, it's really
Weird.
annoying. Yeah, that also took me a day or two to figure out. Searching through forums and the normal troubleshooting steps.
Yeah. Well, now you know what? You can forget about it for the next few years until you have to do it again, and then you can repeat the
Well, no,
process
I
all over
can't
again.
because I have another retrofit or build that I've got to do in the next like week or two.
Oh, okay. Hopefully,
So
it'll hammer it home.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be fresh when I do that. I still
Right.
need to
Yeah. Yeah.
design and program all of that stuff before my vices come out my machine because
Nice.
it's a 400 mil long part and I need both vices.
Nice.
But yeah, that's one thing I do love about this machine and having all the tools set up. Ooh, I need to put in a bunch of threaded holes. Drill hole thread mill. Done.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
super, super easy. Like not stuffing around with setting tools up for every job.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
in this case, it's just the mental inertia, getting over the mental inertia to actually start the job.
Totally. Yeah. No,
That's
it's most of it. Yeah.
that is most of my day is fighting mental inertia because
Yep.
things seem like mountains when they are truly molehills. I've actually got a bunch of stuff that I need to run on the mill that's going to take me half an hour to set up and then another half an hour to run the stuff. And then it's off the to-do list, but just
Right.
getting around to actually saying, okay, this is what I'm doing now. The stupid little
Yeah.
30-second task, 30-second cycle for 20 parts, getting to that is the really tricky bit.
Yeah, I have after this podcast, I have like a 3-minute setup I have to do on the lathe, and I still don't want to do it. It's just like
Yeah.
it's 3 minutes, and then it'll run for like 6 hours of parts. I'm like, can I do
Yeah,
something
no.
else before that? It's like you lazy.
Yeah, I watched Danica procrastinate all day today. She
Nice.
wasn't keen to do something, so she literally farty-arsed around the house for the whole morning.
It's
Yeah,
it's fun doing like constructive procrastination, like
yes, Justin
doing other shit
special.
that needs to,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
Justin special.
Yeah.
Productive procrastinating. Like I can always find something to do that isn't what I need to be doing. Like
Yeah, totally.
yes, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday I spent most of the day waiting for the fiberglass. So I got production running on one machine. No, meant to be at
Mhm.
10:30. So then I didn't want to get too involved in anything because waiting for them to come through, and then yeah, that's challenging.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that's the joys of being a one man operation. You got no one to really hold you to stuff. That's all. That's
Yeah.
one of the purposes of the podcast. Is that when you say we're
Yeah.
going to do stuff, we have someone saying, "Hey, did you do it?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
especially if
exactly.
it's an interesting thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where it's fun. Oh,
Yeah,
we're getting long in the tooth.
yeah.
Should we do our
Let's
Google
let's.
searches?
Yes, yours is neatly written down. I'm going to see what's in mine.
Ah, you can just free ball yours.
Yeah, I'm going to go look quickly. Go away, robot. Okay, so yeah, no, I've cleared mine since yesterday. But anyway, we
Ah,
got the
fair.
Wordle. We're on 47. And then yeah, basically my ISP and speed tests.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, that has been my last day. So yeah, sorry, got nothing super. Oh, Rand Dollar watching it fall through its ass.
That's like that seems to be the theme for the last like 4 weeks for you.
Yes, because I'm selling things in dollars, but I'm manufacturing them in rands. Um,
Right.
I also had the Ori in there, which is the Madagascan currency.
Right.
Which, in order to be a millionaire in their currency, you need to draw a whopping $200.
That's
The
cool.
Rand dollar has actually changed. Oh, geez. Cool. Quick announcement. My store's going into euros tonight. No, the Rand dollar's dropped 40 cents since yesterday.
Wow.
40
That's
Rand cents. So on every dollar I sell, I lose 40 cents. Like it starts to add up very quickly.
right. Yeah, no doubt.
So time to move to a stable currency.
Yeah, that's kind of why I jumped ship like last
Well,
month. It's
my
just getting
imperializer is now out by
tedious.
almost 1 Rand per dollar from when I
Wow.
programmed it earlier in the
Right.
year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, no,
nuts.
store's going to go to euros. Screw that shit.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully I was on the other end of it. Like I was just constantly
Yeah,
making more money, but it's just like, it doesn't seem I like just uniformity. So it's just like,
yeah, 100%.
yeah.
I actually just want to
Um
see her quickly. But yeah, what have you been Googling, Kurt? While I do
uh
things in the background.
Yeah, I'll just rip through it. We talked about the anti-aliasing. I was googling a bunch of that. Variations on the blue resin. So I like the Sarai Tech blue series of resins, which aren't blue; they're black and sometimes a little bit blue. But yeah, I just bought a big jug of the lava black, which I think used to be the obsidian black. It's like their strongest one. So I did some
Yeah.
test prints on that. Super happy with it. I would. It's tedious to set up, but I really like it. Let's see what else. Thickness of a U.S. quarter, seeing if it compares to a Canadian quarter, just for some machining. I want some toolless parts, so quarters are nice flathead drivers that most people have. And then mechanism resource link. We'll link in the show notes.
Yes,
It's
that will
a
definitely be in there.
yeah, it's a
The
Maker
Maker's Muse
Muse.
video, yeah.
Yeah, so good. Bunch of old text that's now like out of copyright, so you can view it online. Go check it out. His video, he has it all linked in the. We'll link his video in the show notes, and then the video links to all the literature, which is super interesting. Just seeing these just crazy complicated mechanism broken down into like patent drawings. Just I don't know. I love mechanisms, so I love just kind of letting my brain feast on that stuff. And then, yeah, fun stuff is just I came across a thing called the world's smallest FPV drone. Not sure if it's the world's smallest, but it's a guy that made a tiny one, and it's like the size of a bumblebee, and I want one. So I might go down that rabbit hole so I can rip around the park without terrifying the children with a giant scary quad because my other one is noisy. But yeah, a little bumblebee size one would be fun.
Have you seen the drone that flies up on a rocket? So it is a rocket's payload.
I don't
And
think so.
when
No.
the rocket separates, it shoots out, folds out, and then flies
Oh,
back.
cute. Was
Yeah.
that like a flight? Was that like a flight test video?
No, it was some other random YouTuber that came across my feed.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I don't know if I saw that one. I
Yeah,
remember when like
apparently the world speed record for drones is approaching the speed of sound.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I've
it's like
watched a few of
500,
those.
yeah, 500 and something kilometers an hour. Dave wants to do. He's been wanting to do a speed run for a while,
That's
and now with where
ridiculous.
he's working, he can probably get all the bits sponsored, which would be great.
That's
He
nuts how
did a
fast
speed
those.
run. He did a speed run probably it was before COVID. They did a speed run and they were clocking like silly speeds to the point
Mhm.
that between the gates, I think he said they were running 6S. The camera was starting to fade out. That's how much they depleted the battery during that run. So, yeah, 6S depleting down to like sub fucking couple volts as they were running,
Yikes.
like draining, and then you come off the throttle and everything comes back to life. Like
Right,
just
yeah.
absolutely abusing it.
Yeah, that's bonkers. I don't think
Yeah,
people realize how much power these drones. Like my little drone,
well,
my little
yeah.
4-inch is like 3 kilowatts of power at
Oh,
peak.
that's
Like that is
cute.
an and that exactly as I say, that's
No, no.
nothing nowadays. And that'll make it that'll
Dave
go from
showed me.
like
Da-
oh say
Dave
I
showed me
love
a
when
ESC, dude. It's stupid. 30 millimeter mounting pitch or 30.5 mounting pitch. So the whole thing
mhm,
is sub 2 inches square. How many
mhm.
kilowatts do you think that ESC can do?
No idea. No
It can
idea.
handle 8S, so 30 volts.
Okay.
100 amps continuous per ESC, and it's 4 in 1.
That's
150 burst.
nuts.
12 kilowatts
That's
continuous, 18 kilowatts burst. That's more power than
that's
my machine shop uses.
that's not. I mean, mind you, it's for like seconds, but still, that's an
Well, 100%
insane amount of power.
continuous. Like, what are you going to use to feed that thing? Power. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's insane. And I mean, that thing's tiny.
I know
Yeah,
it's my favorite thing to do in the park is just like if I'm standing out there and people are like, "Oh, how high does a drone go?" And I'll just hover it like really slow at like just barely above idle, and then I'll just punch it, and it'll just you get a little flash of like dust on the ground, and it's just like so, and it's
disappears.
gone, and it's 300 feet up before you can even crank your neck, and it's just like holy, and everyone has the same reaction. It's just like holy,
Yeah.
it's like
My
yeah,
lovely wife did that to me. I was trying to teach her to fly at
oh
line of
nice,
sight in a hover. It starts
sure,
drifting towards us. So I'm like, let's give it a nudge away. It was in auto level. Give it a nudge away.
sure,
She bumps the throttle up. Ah, gives me the thing, gives me the remote. The thing's in front of the sun. So now it's going up. So I chop throttle and now I'm listening for where this thing is descending so that I can hop
right.
back on the throttle and catch it. Yeah, no. The good old days. Yeah, back when I had
Yeah,
multiple drones, not just this one little cute guy, my little 3 inch. Check how the
that
props are
is cute.
facing down from flying into stuff.
Aw,
Now, they've
it's
been
so
bent,
sad
so they just
looking.
bend them straight. But yeah, this
Yeah,
yeah, this thing's tiny. Like, but
yeah.
so out of date. Like hilariously out of
No,
date.
yeah, yeah,
No. Yeah. I think there's actually a
yeah.
picture on my Instagram, like back in the day, of the previous version of this drone, next to a banana for scale.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, I used to take a drone to work on the way home from work, go fly in the park quickly, and then like
Mhm.
weekends used to be fly Sunday morning, drive 20 kilometers to fly with the guys, drive back, put everything on charge. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, fly with the guys again somewhere else. Like yeah,
Mhm.
that used to be my hobby,
Yeah,
and then I got a
yeah,
machine shop. That
yeah.
happens.
Same.
But
Yeah.
yeah, all
No.
right, cool. I think we're
Cool, man.
gonna we'll wind it up there. Thank you everybody for listening. This went much better than the attempt
Oh,
yesterday, day before yesterday. Anyway,
so
then the
much better.
last attempt. Yeah, no, it's living in the first world now with my fiber internet. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with someone you think who will enjoy the show as well. You can give us a like, subscribe, or rate, depending on which platform you're on. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. I think we're on a couple others, but I'm not entirely sure. I know we are on those three. But yeah, anyway, have a good one, and we will see you next week.
Take care, all.